Welcome everyone to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers, and tonight we're going to talk about some cool new PSVR2 news. If by cool, you like stuff that's not backwards compatible, which I do not think that's cool. But so recently, during an episode of the official PlayStation podcast, Hideki Nishino, Senior Vice President of Platform Experience at PlayStation, was talking about features and things of that in a new PSVR 2 that's coming out. And he was directly asked about whether basically last gen VR titles would be playable on a new headset, which he basically said, no, they're not going to be compatible with the PSVR 2. And his bullshit reason is PSVR 2 is designed to deliver a truly next generation VR experience. You want to stroke it some more? Because that's a load of bullshit. We know that Sony's not they don't want to do all the work. To me, it seems very confusing on why they would make this move, because when the PSVR 2 comes out, it's going to be lacking a catalog of games. I was kind of excited for the PSVR 2 because I never bought a PSVR, but Nick and Shane both have them and speak very highly of them. But I want to play those games that they have, but I don't want to buy a PSVR because it's last gen and I wanted to get the new one. I wanted to play things like Vader Immortal and stuff like that. But it looks like there's no reason for me to buy a PSVR 2 when it comes out, because there will be no games for it besides whatever they decide to put out when it comes out that are basically tickling my fancy, if you will. I wanted to play the Vader Immortal and some stuff like that, but I'm not going to get to unless I want to buy a PSVR and then a VR2, which is just asinine to me. But PlayStation is not the biggest proponent of backwards compatibility. They never have. And this is just more fuel for that fire. In my opinion, I can barely think of some memorable PSVR VR games. So Shane could probably knock off quite a few that are pretty popular, but I guarantee he's got less than a dozen of them. And that's the life of the PSVR. Now imagine they're coming out with PSVR 2. How long is it going to take them to get to a dozen games that are compatible with that? That's my problem with this, is that they need to make this backwards compatible, in my opinion. It doesn't make sense, but enough of my ramble. And Shane, what do you think about this boneheaded move of no backwards compatible for PSVR to VR2 games?
It just goes to show Sony's anti-consumerism. I mean, there is no reason to not make it back compat. There's none. And like you said, I don't know the total game count for PlayStation VR 1, but I know when PlayStation VR 2 launches, it's going to be 4, 5, maybe 6 games. And PlayStation VR games have not just rolled out. I mean, they trickle in. So, it would have been smart to have a back compat system. They are going to be bringing out updates for like Resident Evil 7. It's going to get a PSVR 2 treatment. Robinson's, Golem. Those are games. Now, I would highly suspect Vader Immortal will get this treatment as well because it was extremely popular, but it may not. There's games that won't get this treatment. Doom 3 was really good on VR. Super Hot is one of my favorite PlayStation VR games. I just loved everything about Super Hot. I enjoyed the game itself too, but the VR just made it, just the immersion was amazing. You punch a guy, his gun flies up in the air, you grab the gun, you shoot people. I never got nauseous or sick on it. I love that game, and I would love to be able to play it in a smoother way with the new haptic controls or whatever they're calling that. But I'm not going to get that because they're most likely they won't do that with Super Hot. They might make a Super Hot 2 or some BS, but they're not going to just allow me to pop the disc in or, download it, from my PlayStation 4 to my PlayStation 5 or whatever. It's just all about the money. And that really just chaps my butt. And I used to love Sony, especially at the launch of the PS4. Sony was pro consumer then. You know, compared to what Microsoft was doing with the Xbox One, and Don Matrick just screwing everything and everybody. And then they was like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to be about the money again. We're not going to care about the gamers. We're not going to care about the consumer. They stopped that way into the PS4 cycle when they were just trouncing, just waffle stomping Microsoft and Nintendo. And it sucks because I want to love Sony again, but they're just going down a rabbit hole of where I can't. And the PlayStation VR2 having non-backwards compatibility with the games is just another reason for it. I think Sony would be in a much better position, even more than they are, and they're in a great position. So don't get me wrong. If they would be more consumer friendly, more gamer friendly, quit raking us over the coals by re-releasing the same game 3 times for a new price every time. And the price gets higher and higher and higher. Microsoft has done a good job to at least pretend that they are pro-consumer now. And that's one reason I have been a big fan of Microsoft in the last 5 years, 6 years. I've become more of a fan because of some of the tactics they've taken. Sony needs to start looking at that, and they pretend to once in a while, but most of the time it's just straight up, we don't give a crap. You're going to take it, you're going to take it sideways, and you better smile when you look back at me. So it breaks my heart, but I really want a PlayStation VR2 though. And I'll get one, but I won't get one new. That's for sure. It'll definitely be a few years down the line because I want to play games. I don't want to buy it and have one game that I want to play. And it'll be a rehash of a PlayStation, VR1 game like Resident Evil 7. I don't want to freaking replay that. I want to play new games. But you have to wait so you can have decent library. So that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so stupid because, they're basically talking about a whole bunch of features that built into this that are preventing it. But in my opinion, it's basically disabling those features is all you do to run that game that doesn't support those features, because the features that are going to be built into this thing, the PSVR plays games that aren't just developed by Sony. There's games out there that are basically on every VR system that is played. And they're basically saying, yeah, we're not going to allow it or whatever because it wasn't developed on this. That's corporate speak for, we don't want to put time and money into this and we don't care what you say. Yeah. Have another pineapple, So it's kind of maddening and frustrating at the same time, because I was looking forward to the PSVR 2. When I heard there was going to be one, I was like, cool, I might actually just get one this time around to play some of those games that I missed out on, because I have yet to play any PSVR game. Shane and Nick have both said, you just need to come over and play it. I'm like, hell no, because then I'm going to want one so bad that I just can't stop myself from getting it. And I'm like, and so I'm at that point to where it's still a gimmick to me. And I really want to try it out. I mean, it has taken every strength and fiber of my being not to buy a Valve Index so I can play one stinking game, or something like that, right?
Half-Life Alyx, right?
Yeah. Just like that. Or, back when, right before I came like so close to buying an Oculus Quest 2, but when they raised their prices, I'm like, that's anti-consumerism right there for technology that's been out for years with no changes. And I really just completely lost interest at that time when I'm like, oh, it's Facebook getting in the way of Facebook right there is what it is in the way. And so I'm like, I'm not purchasing it. I'm not spending my money on a company that thinks that it's okay to raise the price on freaking 2-4-year-old technology that nothing's changed. So, I don't participate with companies that are anti-consumer like that. I try not to buy crap from them. Facebook doesn't need me to buy anything from them because I use the damn app, which means they get revenue from me just using the dang thing, which sucks in general. Social media really is a virus, in my opinion, because it's so hard to just wean yourself from it. There's so many hooks and things that get into you, and so, but that's for a different cast. But yeah, the PSVR2, I'm really disappointed. I hope they reverse course. I think everybody needs to basically express their anger or whatever.
Outrage.
Yeah, disappointment. There you go. Towards them, and let them know how you feel. Nobody needs to get irate or name calling or anything like that. They just need to basically let Sony know this is a bad deal and you guys need to reconsider this and basically make those games backwards compatible, because they need to be. If you want my business, that's what's going to take to get to purchase a PSVR 2. But I might be in the same boat as Shane. Is it'll come out and I won't get it for years until it goes on sale. Or the same thing will happen this time, because that's what I was kind of waiting on the PSVR, was to go on sale and enough games to come out. By the time that happened, the PS5 was out, and I'm like, I think there's rumors of a PSVR 2, and then they announced it. I'm like, I'm going to wait. And now I'm waiting, and now I'm disappointed. That's the story of my life. That's the story of life right there for everybody, isn't it? Hurry up and wait and wait and wait. And you're like, all right, it's getting closer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then you're like, and I'm disappointed.
That is definitely the story of my life.
Yep. Story of life right there. Wait. You're super excited and you're disappointed now. So moral of that story is never get your hopes up for something like this, because somebody is going to take a big, giant bird shit all over it. Just going to swoop in and shit all over everything. I don't know how Nishino thought that wasn't going to cause a stir around the world, of the gaming world anyway, by saying something like that.
I don't think they care. That's
that
thing.
Might be if they don't care.
I mean, so much of what they've been doing is just, we don't care. They act like the Activision merger with Xbox, they act like that's going to kill gamers. They act like Microsoft and Activision are going to go into your house and rape your children and kill them.
It's going to put a wooden stake through Sony's heart. That's what they're going to do. They're going to stake that vampire.
But when they do it, it's pro gamer to them. It's for you guys, is what they tell you. But it's not. They're just anti-consumer. They can suck it. And I can't tell you the last time I turned on my PlayStation. I can tell you when I'll turn it on next. God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it, beat it, and turn it off again.
That's kind of where I'm at, right? I like their exclusives. They make some amazing first-party exclusives. They do. And games that only come to them are on par some of the best games out there. Nobody's arguing that point. I love the games that they put out that are on Sony only. But it is the only reason why I bought a Sony was, I really, the driving force behind me wanting a PS5 was Miles Morales. Even though I know it was on PS4, I really wanted to play it on the PS5. And I had to get one before Horizon Forbidden West came out. Horizon is the game that made me eventually buy a PS3. So, I had to. It unfortunately didn't live up to the hype for me, but that's just me. But it was still a great game. Horizon was still a great game, and I still beat it. I still played it till the end. Played Miles Morales to the end. I typically play most PlayStation exclusive games all the way to the end because they're just great games. But that doesn't mean that Sony's not a shit company. They are very anti-consumer, and this is just another nail for that. PSVR 2 can't play a PSVR game, so take that library of games and throw them on the shelf somewhere. Because when
take all 20. Yeah. Take all 20, but GameStop and get you $1.50 because it's pointless now.
Yeah. Put that $1.50 towards your PSVR 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get
taxes.
It seems stupid. It seems backwards to me, but like I said, Shane's nailed it. They don't care about what the consumers want. They just want you to spend more money. That's the only thing they care about. And Sony has a fervent fan base that they will do it. And unfortunately they will do it. Unfortunately, a lot of people will do it. The PSVR 2 will probably be one of those things that comes out and sells out immediately when it's released, just like everything else. So for me, it won't be a day one purchase unless something amazing is just announced alongside of it that I'm like, I gotta have this. I mean, they announced like Horizon Mountain or something like that was coming out there.
Yeah, something like that.
And to me, I was like, man, it doesn't look that great. But maybe when more game footage comes out when it's closer, I'll change my tune. But for me right now, depending on the cost, I don't see me buying it day one unless there's enough of a catalog to support me to spend whatever they're going to ask. Because what was the original PSVR 2 price? Was it $300 or PSVR was it 300 something?
I want to say it was 400 with the camera and the 2 Move controllers.
Gotcha.
Originally.
So we're probably looking at something.
I picked mine up for $3 on sale.
Gotcha.
So I'll bet $1 that you're looking at a $500 setup.
And that's as much as a PlayStation 5 at that point.
Yeah.
And to me, that's hard pill to swallow. But all of it's going out there. You know, the new Cambria from Meta is coming out, and that's going to be, that's probably going to be a $500 or $600 headset. We don't really have all the final pricing yet, but they're talking about it's going to be a significant price increase over the Quest 2. So $500, $600.
Oh yeah, but it's not going to sell worth a crap.
I don't think at that price point it will. The Quest and the Quest 2, their selling point was our cost to game ratio is pretty darn good.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I hope Sony reverses course, but I highly doubt it. Shane, you got anything else you want to put on this one before we log out of the VR world for a while?
No, the real world sucks. Now Sony's making the virtual ones suck too.
Just suckage all around.
Just suckage.
All right. Well, let us know what you think. Do you think this is a smart move by Sony, a boneheaded move? Are you indifferent? Do you care about VR? Are you going to get the PSVR 2? Or do you want it and maybe just can't afford it like me? Let us know what you think. Get down in the comments. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you're not subscribed, the only thing I have for you is why? Why not yet? Subscribe now. Help us out. More subscribers we get, that means that we can keep doing what we like to do here and just talk about video games and review games with all of you. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to help us out. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.